This is Zach with Sawyer Paddles and Oars, and today we are featuring Ellie Clapp in our first ambassador spotlight. She is a junior ambassador. Ellie, just introduce yourself to the crowd and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I've been rafting for the past 7 or so years. I've had some experience with rowing and just recently paddling, and my main focus has been improving my own skills and exploring new rivers. I'd like to empower everyone around me and just tell my story. I grew up going to the river with my family and was more a component to the puzzle piece, and they were taking me on the trip, but now as I'm growing more as an independent rafter, I want to be more of the trip leader, shall I say, of the rafting trip, and just growing my independent profile of rafting and just everything in and around it.
You have this big endeavor that you're getting ready to do, and so let's talk a little bit about that and tell the folks just kind of how that came about for you and what you're going to be doing here at the end of the month.
Right, so last October I went to the Pitt River and we met a group called the Rafting Magazine. Trevor was the head of that.
Right, yeah.
And like as I got to know them and paddle with them, and Lexi, she's 14, I started paddling with her, R2ing, and just like all those relationships building and paddling with them like monthly at least. Really helped just the growing of those relationships. Just recently we started talking about, oh, maybe we should do a longer trip, right. And he started planning a France trip. And at first that was kind of just like scary. It's like, oh, a month-long trip. Do I really want to go to that? But as I started really paddling with them more, I saw the appeal of just getting away for a month. So we definitely like rallied all together and was deciding to go for a month. I'm leaving in 2 weeks, so it's kind of crazy starting to pack. Just a lot of details to go into that trip, but I'm so excited for just what type of rivers we're going on and exploring like Italy and France itself. So it's all really exciting. So there's me 16, Lulu 14, and no, Lexi 14 and Lulu 16. So us 3 girls are going for that month-long trip, and that's really gonna help
you're
highlight.
Meeting up with other folks from over in France.
Yes.
that you're gonna be paddling with.
Right.
It's an international trip that Trevor has kind of orchestrated.
Yeah, so he has a friend that runs a rafting company that we're able to stay at in the Alps.
You're a junior ambassador with Sawyer and other ambassadorships as well, but you're also on the junior team for Rafting Magazine, and that's a lot of how this all came about. So explain to the folks just a little bit about that program.
Right, so that program is really trying to get younger people in the rafting industry and just teaching them about like paddle safety, water safety in general. There's a whole website on different videos with like beginner, intermediate, like all that kind of stuff. But we're really trying to highlight on these 3 girls into France and trying to get more sponsorships to make it more affordable for everyone. But it's really gonna, like, we're really trying to get more of a younger audience.
We are fortunate enough to have the Rogue River here in our backyard, and it's kind of the home water. And we do a lot of things on the Rogue River, and there's so many runnable stretches, but all these river communities kind of have that same thing.
Right.
And so I guess, would you encourage people to go to the river events, and especially if they have interest in it as as teenagers, if they can talk their parents into going, but if not, just going with a group of friends? And
yeah, definitely the river community is so welcoming, and even for like a beginner, like I've taken my friend to a rafting festival and it was just like such a overwhelming welcome of just everyone ready to get them into rafting and get them gear that they need. It's surprising how much the river community is welcoming of beginners, even if they're experienced and, you know, they're just so like yearning to teach others.
You have, you know, a river family, and that's how you've been able to kind of get into rafting, and now you're kind of getting into something that's more an independent pursuit, and you're starting to, you know, run rivers that maybe mom and dad aren't going to run.
Right.
And what kind of things can you convey to other folks that you go to school with that, you know, live here in the Rogue River Valley and, you know, haven't really got that bug yet?
I can definitely encourage learning more about the river and just getting your kids out there or your parents out there and just exploring the river.
Going to river festivals, of course. There's a lot of youth group programs that incorporate river trips. And I think these things are around almost every river community, but it takes the parents to do that exploring and then the teenagers to do that exploring on their own as well, you know. And if being on the river is something that interests you, then bug your parents to find some of those groups, find some of those spots. A lot of folks maybe start with their first one is on a guided trip, and then they get that bug and start pursuing it on their own. Besides the Lower Rogue, is there longer trips that you've done yet, or?
Not necessarily longer multi-day trips. I've done some just like repetitive take out and put-ins and just like that type of thing where we're rerunning it, running laps on different waterfalls or whatnot. But just the like longer multi-day trips, I've definitely noticed how more in tune you are with the nature and how less stressed it feels to pack up.
Right. It definitely takes that little bit of time just to kind of start to decompress. Like every river trip of a multi-day, the first day is just kind of like you're running through the checklist in your head as you're going down the river.
Right.
It's just like, you know, did I forget this? Did I checklist that? You know, and I kind of believe that once you are on a river trip that's over a week, you literally you're living the river.
Yeah.
And you are completely in the zone of your packing and unpacking of your boat. And, you know, it's just like you're stopping at another little side hike or another little camp spot along the way. After that first 4 or 5 days, it literally becomes communal living.
Yeah.
Because you are literally eating, sleeping, breathing, and all the other things with that group of people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like literally you have that much time to pull away from everything else that goes on in the world.
Yeah.
And that's really the beauty that, I mean, I think people need to experience that for themselves, is just the more of those, the multi-days, the bigger they get, the more that becomes really like, it is that trip of a lifetime. I mean, this piece that you have going on, you know, for a month to go paddle in the Alps, that's absolutely a trip of a lifetime.
It is.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much for watching. This has been an Ambassador Spotlight. My name is Zach. I'm here with Ellie, and we really want to just hopefully give you some things to do some homework on. Do a little research. Seek out that river community around you. Get out on the water, and we'll see you on the river.